Now let's talk about eating disorders. Now, eating disorders are common psychiatric comorbidities with obesity, and these include binge eating disorder. We'll talk about this, which is a new entity in DSM-5. Then bulimia nervosa, and then there are various syndromes such as night eating syndrome, Graves eating syndrome, loss of control, consumption of high caloric liquid. So these are certain newer diagnosis, proposed criteria are there for these diagnoses, which may also be associated with obesity. Let's first talk about binge eating disorder. Now, binge eating disorder now is a separate diagnosis in DSM-5. Earlier, it was included under eating disorder, not otherwise specified. So, what is the diagnostic criteria under DSM-5? Now, there is a recurrent episodes of binge eating, as the name suggests, binge eating. So, there are recurrent episodes of binge eating, that is, eating a large amount than normal with a loss of control at least once per week for 3 months. So there are episodes of binge eating. In less time, the person is eating more. So, binge eating is, something like, suppose your favorite series has come on Netflix. You may watch the entire series in one night. So that is binge watching. Binge eating is eating large amount of food in less time, and there is loss of control, and this is occurring at least once per week for continuously 3 months. Also, this is accompanied by at least 3 of the following. So there is eating which is very rapidly. So the person is eating rapidly, eating until uncomfortably full. So, till the time the person is not very, uncomfortably full, the person keeps on eating. Eating when not hungry, eating alone or hiding eating from others. So the person is, hiding it and doing it, when nobody's seeing, and feeling guilty or disgusted after a binge. So binge eating disorder is if there is recurrent episodes of binge eating along with at least 3 of these scenarios, then we say it is binge eating disorder. Now also in binge eating disorder, there should be no recurrent compensatory purging, exercising or fasting, because then the diagnosis will be bulimia nervosa. So here there is no such recurrent compensatory mechanism, and of course it's a disorder and there is marked distress. So this is how we make the diagnosis of binge eating disorder. Now, prevalence of binge eating disorder among obese patient is around 30%, which is quite high. So it is seen in around 30% of the patients with persons with obese. Now, binge eating disorder is in fact the most common eating disorder. Overall, now we say that it is the most common eating disorder with estimated population rate of around 2%. So it is now the most common eating disorder. Now, next comorbidity is bulimia nervosa. So bulimia nervosa may also be seen in obese person. So binge eating episodes are there in bulimia nervosa. This is followed by compensatory behavior such as vomiting, self-induced vomiting, laxative use, over exercise, and sometimes dieting for a few days. So the person has binge eating episodes and subsequently it is followed by compensatory mechanism, that is bulimia nervosa. Now, binge eating or purge episode must occur at least once per week for 3 months. Then we make a diagnosis of bulimia nervosa. Now, patients with bulimia nervosa may be obese, but many times we also see more typically they may have normal weight. So generally we say that patient with bulimia may have higher weight, but usually when we see such patient, they may fall into the normal range of the weight. Now, next is night eating syndrome, NES. Now this is basically understudied disorder, and this involves circadian delay in the food consumption. As the name suggests, the person is eating more in the night time, night eating syndrome. Let's try to understand the proposed criteria for night eating syndrome. Now the core criteria says that at least one of these two should be present. First is evening hyperphagia. So the person is eating more in the night excessively, and nocturnal awakenings with food ingestion. And so person is waking up in the night and subsequently this is followed by eating food, and this is occurring at least twice per week. So these are the two core criteria. At least one of them should be present, and then 3 of the following 5 associated symptoms should be present. So this is a proposed criteria for night eating syndrome. So what are the associated symptoms? So one is insomnia. So person may have a sleep initiation or maintenance insomnia. So the person is not able to sleep, or in between the person is waking up. So the person is not able to maintain the sleep. Then morning anorexia, which is, so morning anorexia as the name suggests, so it is either in the form of lack of desire to eat in the morning or skipping breakfast more days than not. So first associated symptom is insomnia, second is morning anorexia, next is urges to eat at night. Person feels depressed, and so there is a depressed evening mood, and E is a belief that one must eat to sleep. So again, this may occur in some patients wherein they feel that till the time they have not eaten in the night, they'll not be able to sleep. So these are the 5 associated symptoms, and at least 3 of them should be present. So we have discussed one core criteria, at least one of them should be present, and out of the associated symptom, at least 3 should be present. And also symptoms must be associated with distress and occur for 3 or more months. So this is a proposed criteria for night eating disorder. Again, one should have some idea about such syndromes which are newer, proposed criteria are there. Sometimes these may also be asked by your examiner and may just come in your theory paper as well. So this is NES. Now it is seen that higher rates of axis 1 disorders is seen in NES population, and in fact major depressive disorder, major depression may be seen, both current and lifetime depression may be higher in these population. Now next is Graves eating syndrome. Now in Graves eating syndrome, again this is less well defined, even lesser well defined than NES. So there is eating large amount of food slowly over the day, or there is continuous eating. Now often this may be associated with feelings of loss of control, associated with distress, and eating for reasons other than hunger. So this is Graves eating syndrome. Here the person is not restrictively eating in the night. It may be eating so amount of food throughout the day, or there is continuous eating. Then next is loss of control consumption of higher calorie liquids. So this is basically a high calorie liquid type of grazing. So grazing is basically done in high calorie liquid food. Next is loss of control consumption of high calorie liquid. Now this, as the name suggests, here the person is having high calorie liquid. So this is a high calorie liquid type of grazing. So here grazing basically is with respect to only high calorie liquid. So this is again another newer, less studied diagnosis which you can remember. So these are certain important eating disorders which may be seen in patients with obesity.